Hi, we're Mona, and thank you for watching Music News.
Mona, it's great to see you again. How are you doing today?
Well,
I'm good.
doing well.
Good to be here.
Good, thanks a lot. You're in London to play the Lexington tomorrow night. Are you looking forward to the show? And is London a sort of special place in general?
Go ahead.
Me? Very excited to play in London again. It's been too long. And I've heard nothing but great things about the Lexington, so I'm excited to check that out.
It is a great venue. You get a nice vibe in there.
Cool.
Always good.
Yeah, musically, I mean, London's kind of our birthplace, like, for our career. I mean, it's really, I mean, in the States we played in our hometowns and a little bit, but in that first record deal and that first album, I mean, it was basically, I mean, we were in London a lot of that time, and even while touring, the rest of the UK and into Europe, we were kind of based out of London, so it's...
Yeah, you've got the BBC Ones to Watch list and the MTV Ones to Watch list,
Yeah.
Jules Holland.
And even,
obviously.
and even just the fans, it just felt like home, So
We were talking about that at breakfast today. It feels like home here. It's awesome. Yeah.
It's good.
Good to be back.
Yes, it has been too long. But you're back with a new 6-track EP, In the Middle. It's already racking up millions of streams. What is it all about?
Kind of the title is, sums it up. I mean, it's the duality of everything. We've always been into dualism and kind of seeing both sides of things, whether it's religion or politics or anything. We don't really like the whole. Well, it's funny because there's a song "Us and Them" on it, but we don't really like the whole "us and them" mentality. It's more of trying to see both sides of things. And even musically in our career where we're at, we were in the middle of a transition, in the middle of a record deal, in the middle of, switching managers, band members. There's a lot of in the middle, and it kind of just sums up a time of transition, and then, that's basically it. It's not super deep.
It's come together well. I mean, it's 6 tracks, only 4 more, and you got an album really. What was the thinking to have sort of release 6 all in the one go?
Well, I mean, 5 less and it would have been a single. So if you go in the middle, 6 is a perfect,
very true.
Perfect number. I mean, it was music is consumed so fast these days, and just to kind of we took a 3-year break, re kind of falling in love with what we do, and we kind of had, Jordan, Zach, and I had several talks of how to continue, if you want to continue, where you're going musically, where we want to go as friends, where we want to go as bandmates, like just in life and perspective and the pace of things. And so, if we're doing that internally, the listener, it's a little overwhelming to go, hey, we're gone for years, and by the way, here's a, kind of shove this big thing down someone's throat. So we kind of wanted to ease people back in, hey, we're back, but also give them something that was like, easy to digest and not like a 12-song album to where, sometimes I think people skip over things these days. Mm-hmm. But when it's a smaller body of work, I think it's devoured with more appreciation, which we've actually kind of seen, because people come up to us and almost every song someone says is their favorite. Where when you do a 10 to 14 song album, it's like, there's maybe like 2 or 3 that people like
keep saying.
These are the singles.
But so, and we wanted to kind of put a different, kind of sprinkle some schizophrenia across it. A song like Judas, Us and Them, in the middle. They're all cohesive, but they are definitely
have their own identities.
Yeah, different parts of our brain of like, well, we might go down that road later again, or we might go down this road. Kind of wanted to kind of push the bookends of the spectrum a little bit wider.
Have you built up quite a catalogue of songs in those sort of 3 years?
I mean, there's an entire album already recorded, mixed, and mastered. There's a probably another, I mean, I couldn't even count them. I mean, we're constantly writing. I mean, our rehearsal space is our studio, and we all, live close, so we're constantly just throwing things in the vault.
When do you see the album coming out then?
It depends on what kind of legs, the EP gets. Like so far, in the States, it's starting to pick up a little bit, and here it's just now we're just now kind of revving up, and we want to we want plenty of foreplay before we get to it. So
yeah, and the album, is it sort of similar vein or slightly different direction?
I think it kind of continues to keep pushing the spectrum. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we like. A lot of we kind of made a deal with ourselves that the first 2 albums would be just old school rock and roll albums. There's no click tracks. There's no there's very minimal overdubbing. It was just a band in a room, and now the production level and kind of our outlook is we're different techniques with everything from recording to mic, the sounds that we're using. We spend a lot more time with it's a little bit more cerebral, and even the way as an artist we're kind of pushing the spectrum, where that first one was very the first 2 were very, very guttural and very kind of
Natural.
I would like to say pure, but not that using technology and all these other things isn't pure, but you know what I mean, just kind of a skeleton, bare bones approach.
I mean, since we last chatted in 2013, you have got a new label, new team, new band members. Is it a sort of a new, invigorated Mona? Is that how you feel?
At times.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a question that you would have to ask each individual member, because with Justin and Alex who joined, I mean, this is the first time to London, so there is no reminiscing or memories or anything. It's a whole new exciting process. For us, we had the highs and lows of everything that we've done that we're processing. With a new manager, new label, there's a different outlook. We've been lucky enough to keep some members of our teams, so there's a familiarity. There's still that family vibe, but I think it's a rethinking that the music industry is an evil place, and we happen to survive, and we kind of want to continue just to do it and exist on our own terms with the people that we want to do it with, and not kind of be dragged along. As you were aware, especially in the UK, there was a lot of hype that surrounded us, and it was we were just excited to be in the room and play music, and there was just so much bullshit that we had to kind of deal with, of a lot of attention that we didn't want or ask for, but we kind of
I suppose
you played the game a little bit, and but we got dragged by it a lot. And I think this time around with our team and as a band, we are only doing things at a pace that we think is healthy and serves the music.
Yeah, no, we're still here and still going, which is a testament to the band. I mean, the voice itself is sounding sort of better than ever as well. I mean, is it like a musical instrument? So are you always sort of discovering the potential or exploring the potential of what you can sort of sing,
vocally?
Achieve? Yeah.
I'm pretty. I mean, some would probably say self-sabotaging in some ways. Like, I definitely push a lot.
Yeah.
I get bored very easily. Like with range, and I'm constantly reading things, but I'm also, constantly kind of dancing around, blowing my voice out sometimes. So, but yeah, I think, I mean, to be blunt, there's not a whole lot of good singers in alternative music,
True.
Rock and roll used to be the land of good singers, and now it's understated, half-ass bullshit where it's, I love singing. I think that the era of soul music and doo-wop, where you had these, and even the Beatles. I mean, you had not just one, but you had a group of amazing singers, that had to hit harmonies every night, that had to sing every night. That, and you see a lot of people just doctoring it or cheating. So I mean, I'd rather try and fail than just phone it in, I guess.
No, but you can hear that in your vocal. I think that you really enjoy it and it comes across. I mean, has the recording process changed at all then, since with the band? How's it? In what way?
Before, I mean, we would get one take. Like we would do maybe 3 to 5 takes of a song, and we didn't. You hear a lot of bands saying that, but they're not telling you that they're recording in Pro Tools and taking that first take, the first verse here, and then the third chorus of that fourth take. And I mean, it's one take on those first 2 albums. Mm-hmm. There's no punching in. Where with these, I think which to a flaw, we were kind of proud for no reason to do that. It was just kind of like to prove to ourselves that we could, because obviously when technology is shifting to where if you were in a band and you had a synth, you'd get beat up. Then if you were in a band and you didn't have a synth, you weren't cool. It's kind of like it's done this thing. So for us, at the beginning, it was more about, I think, sticking to whatever weird guns we had in our head of being like a real rock and roll band. But I think now we appreciate all approaches. I mean, whether it's hip hop or dance, like 100 years from now, no one's going to care if that's a real snare drum. They're going to go, was that a great rhythm or is that a great melody? No one's going to care if it's a real instrument. And we still like the human side of things more than anything. I use that word a lot, and we want it to be human expression. I mean, that's what makes art powerful, is it is expression from a human to another human, and then it resonates or it doesn't. When we start adding robots and all this kind of thing, it's not really a thing of humanity as much, but I think if you use the tools to capture and amplify that humanity, then it's powerful. So there's something about a rhythm that's quantized, that's hypnotic, that can get into dance music, EDM, where, we've been humming, we probably hum hip hop melodies and dance melodies a lot more than we do rock and roll riffs, but it's just the balance of it all. And I think, once again, the cliche of in the middle, of trying to all things in my full circle.
Nice callback.
Shameless self-promotion. Of the balance, and I think a lot of people get caught in the moment and they just go, and then they have a time and they're done. And I think for us, like, we want to do this for a while. We've been lucky enough to be doing it for a while. We'd like to continue it, and I think sometimes you have to stop and rip it apart and put it back together. And I think this whole thing, literally from the band out to the music, it's been ripped apart and put back together.
Yeah, definitely. And where was the EP recorded?
At my place. So I moved after the second album. I moved and I bought a place with some land, and we built a studio. But it's been from that first album. We had a little bit of gear. The second album, we've just been acquiring gear ourselves, and we have a lot of friends that are musicians. So we're always kind of, all five of us are in different ways, always expanding, whether it's a guitar pedal or, Justin watching rhythms or us listening to new stuff. So we're acquiring ideas and acquiring gear, and the place that we rehearse is the place that we record, is the place that we hang out. So it's always kind of a good space.
It's a great space. Yeah, you said it's hard not to be creative in that space, and that's very true. Very true statement.
Great stuff. But 2016 was a pretty turbulent year in the US. How do you see 2017, sort of back home in Nashville, USA?
Next question.
Just another year.
Yeah. God help us all. I think for us, you can't really look at the storm around you. You kind of have to look at your own vision and keep going. And as artists and musicians, like, we don't really care who thinks they're in charge. The people are in charge. Humans are more powerful than politics, and I think music is the greatest weapon on the planet. So when things get weird, whether it's our country or yours, we're all going to turn to tunes and some alcohol. And I think I think that's kind of our mentality. It's there was some pretty, our country's been in worse places, and there's been some, the country was in a pretty weird place when the Beatles were doing their thing, when the Clash was in. We've always had evil. We just have a different version of it, and it's up to artists to kind of just sing a little louder. So we plan on doing that.
Great stuff. Is 2017 going to be a big touring year for Mona?
Yeah. I think we have
Absolutely.
stuff lined up to like already March or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we plan on coming back here, in March. We have stuff right after this run. We have stuff in the States. Come back, go back. We'll be, if our new team does their job, we'll be we'll be going nonstop.
Will we see you at any festivals in the summer, do you think?
I think it's being
Discussed.
talked about
Yeah.
and worked
Yeah.
out right now.
Hope so.
So yeah.
Yeah, same
So,
here.
yes.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
What bands are you lot listening to at the
weird-
moment?
it's a
It's
weird
always
one.
a weird one, yeah.
Yeah. Or even hip hop or whatever, you know, music.
It goes in phases. Like I mean, I do devour large doses of hip hop music at periods of time, and then I kind of disappear and go back to listening to like, you know, Bob Dylan. You know, I kind of have to balance it out a little bit. But when I'm on the road, I really don't listen to much at all. I kind of listen to a lot of weird ambient music to kind of
A lot of
Been ahead.
podcasts.
podcasts.
People talking.
Yeah, I mean, and away from the music, what do you like doing? What do you get up to?
We all watch a lot of like, you know, documentaries and
Mm-hmm.
movies, and I think we're always kind of talking about just stuff that provokes creativity and emotion. I just watched a documentary, Minimalism, was talking about cutting down all the extra crap in your life. And
I just rewatched Grizzly Man.
yeah.
That documentary is amazing.
Yeah, I think we all like documentaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're coming to an era of documentary making coming into, well, they're into cinemas now.
Yeah.
They're taking over
Yeah.
from films practically. But yeah, great stuff. Thanks a lot for your time. It's been a pleasure. If you had to pick sort of 3 songs from across Mona's catalogue that you'd say, you know, listen to these 3, for someone that's yet to get into the band, let's say, listen to these 3 songs, these sort of sum us up, what 3 would you advise?
It's a great question.
Probably 3 different answers. I mean, I would probably do 1 from each release.
It's a good idea.
So, but then I don't know, maybe like Lean Into the Fall from the first one, maybe
Yeah.
like Goons from the second, and then Why Not in the Middle from the new one, I guess. It's all kind of, that would sum it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Or I would say videos, if you're doing videos.
Teenager.
Yeah, I would say Teenager, then I would say Like You Do,
Yeah.
and then I would say this new video that we're getting ready to do in like 30 seconds that Jordan and I have an idea for. I'm gonna wing it.
This is the first I've heard of this.
Good start, way
Yeah.
to play it off, and then it starts with a little dance that he does, and then no, I don't know. We don't have, all we have is in the middle for this one, so I guess we'd have to throw that one in there too,
Again.
or not. What would you say?
Myself? Oh, no, it's not to me, it's too difficult, but I'll go with your advice.
I would do Cloak and Dagger. That's a deep cut.
So if we're gonna say which 3 albums to buy, we would probably say
All 3.
the first one, the second one, and then this maybe
New release, yeah.
basically.
That's pretty good. Well, thanks a lot for your time. Looking forward to the session just now. And anything else to say to Music News watchers?
We love you.
Great stuff. Thanks a lot.
Sweet.
Cheers.